Welcome everybody, it's time
Welcome,
for
welcome.
4 Season Legacy main event.
Finally.
We are at, not European Legacy Masters. Today, for the main event, we have 374 players. The big event is so big. It's one of the biggest events in the year. Only 4 Season Autumn Edition was more than that. So
Yeah, but we got a lot of events spread during the year, so this is the
yeah,
this is a strange edition because we
it's
only
not
got the
a-
main event.
Yeah,
so
it's not so attractive because you don't have to play on Saturday something special like Italian Invitational or European Legacy Masters.
Masters.
So thank you to 9-bit for sponsor our event. It's a delicious energy drink. We can go to the future match now. That is a very powerful Wizards fight. Two of the best control player in the room, one against the other. One is
It's also strange to see this matchup on round one,
Yeah.
because in
It's
370 people.
it's not that easy, but,
to find the two strong players fighting each
when
other.
when I saw that pairings was amazing because Biava is one of the best player of control in Italy, probably the best player among has also Angelo, it's a good player. But
Also Claudio.
yeah, but Vogt is the other biggest control player in the room.
Yeah,
That-
we can.
this is so
we
strange.
can say that we're going to see two different kind of control approach.
Yeah.
Because Biava is representing the Italian way of thinking about control. So blue, white, draw, go. All I want to do is countering your spell, trying to remove all your threats, and pass with as many open mana as I can. And on the other side, we got the European approach, so a more tapped out, controlish version, where you want to slam your threats, being aggressive, and be able to build your pressure through the turns.
Biava with a triumph.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about why don't we try to import or steal the approach from Modern to play blue and white with a couple of free home, just to have the opportunity to cast prismatic ending
for 3 or 4.
or trying leyline binding, something like this. And I'm really happy to see this card. So nothing special. They're just trying to select
And set up. Oh, the Wasteland. The Vogt has to Wasteland. Wasteland is good because kill the Triumph.
Yeah, it's not super useful, I think, because I don't know how many dual lands Ricardo got in
We
his
have the
deck,
deck
but
list.
I think no more than 4 or something like this.
Biava
Double
has
two.
double Wasteland. Wow, what a
Three
list! Wow, 3 volt, a lot of duals. Wow, what a list here.
Double Sanctuary. In the previous edition of 4 Seasons, we saw Ricardo. We stream Ricardo so often because we know he's an amazing player, and he usually provides us a lot of action to
Great content.
to speak about. He's a great content creator in his own way. And if you remember, he played Just Kind Mirror, and they don't.
Not
they
in the
didn't
last.
two 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, in the last we streaming him play the Winnedingen against Falit.
Right, but he returned to Mystic Sanctuary. If you remember, we saw him against Angelo probably.
Yeah, could be. I don't remember exactly. I'm not sure about that. Oh, Minor Misstep is an addition. in all the two deck list. Also, Vogt played 3 copy of Minor Misstep. That seems a good card to improve a lot of match.
Yeah, I tried Misstep a lot since the release because it's an old type of card, you know, that kind of card that wants to interact on the stack and not on the board. So I really like the concept, and for every one of us who are full seasoned player, it reminds the real Misstep. So
Yeah.
it was impossible to not trying it, and it
sure.
seems to improve a lot every combo matchup. And usually, this kind of deck, blue white control, or even for power control, are not that good against
No,
combos.
also the fact that you can replace your Force of Negation with Minor Misstep is a great improvement because you want Minor Misstep against combo, you're right, but
And
you
they're still
don't
strong
want
against Delver.
yeah, exactly. You don't want Force against Delver, so has a lot of free counter in that way that can counter some good interaction spell like Brainstorm or Pyroblaster or maybe have
Or
Delver
Delver and
and
Channeler.
Channeler is a great thing and a good place to start. So
And we remember to everyone that he not only counter one drop,
but also
even
the zero.
So
That,
you can take
that is a huge point and a great addition to the card because you can counter Lionate Diamond or relevant spell like a Mox Opal. There are some situations where you can use that. Also against the initiative is something because you can counter a Chrome Mox that sometimes is the seat where the player is going.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a little bit too early to see if the card it's super okay, and you need to playing it if you're on a blue deck.
Yeah, for me seems okay for now because it's good, but request to play blue. That is a huge compromise to the for fix misstep, and also you have to use mana. That is something you have to hold mana for using that. Seems a great card for me in the format in general. I like the fact that there is improvement in the format in the form of spell and not of threats. So right now we will probably see something like a minor misstep. That could be a thing because you know I counter your brainstorm, try to put you in the situation where you don't find the land drop. If you want to resolve that brainstorm, you have to use mana. You can play a 2 mana threats.
It's another interesting point because this introduces a new line of play, a new line of seeing the game, because we were used to think that it's impossible to counter a cantrip.
It's time for the only Planeswalker in Magic. Yeah, this is a old Magic play
Yeah, of course.
for mana Jace the Mind Sculptor. And probably Vogt has to force that. Or resolve.
It's really powerful to
Yeah,
to be able to keep this Jace. Because we got
Brainstorm,
double
force, a minor misstep, and as worse, that it's not that bad because you can protect your Jace from Minsk with the swords.
Yeah, it's the only thing you need to care about.
Now you want only to protect that. Vogt list doesn't has endurance or Kotla. He has only 2 Minsk and 3 Euro. So if Jace still in play, he could easily won that match. Yes,
The real question is,
proprio il verso dell'ombrello.
do we place any Red Elemental Blast or Pyroblast
In the main deck, I
don't think
not.
so.
No, because now you put minor misstep in that slot.
And also you don't expect
No,
to face Jace the Mind
He
Sculptor,
has
to be honest.
only 2 prismatic candy, 1 pyroblast main deck. Yeah, could be.
But he needs to find them now.
Yeah,
and
Fatty
it's probably
put
too
brainstorm
late.
on top for that. For mana Minsk, No, prismatic ending for 4. Yeah, Biava want to force that because a force of will, pitch force.
And
So
this force finally come back from Scourgealter.
Yeah,
You see him
they-
playing with the Egyptian version.
yeah, it's very very good. Okay, Biava decide to not fight again to the force, probably because he has in hand another Chase the Mind Sculptor that is so huge. So you put your opponent to force back and then you can slam another Chase the Mind Sculptor that probably take the game over here. Also because now Biava can
Put a land drop.
and has minor misstep up for Brainstorm that could be huge. Crack that minor misstep here is so great and Biava won that match. So Vogt is a strong player. In fact, this is incredible. I want to say that 10 minutes for a game of Control. That is incredible. The player are so knowledge about the format and the archetype. They have a lot of knowledge about that. And they decide, Vogt decide to concede quite easily because it's yeah, you know, if you are a control player, you know that you are in the spot where you lose in any case. So it's not a problem to take the game down and take all the other time for the other match because you know that there are some games that are very very long. So this sideboard for Vogt, it's
He's getting a lot of removals,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. You have to cut all the removal and put blue
not
elemental
sure.
blast, 3 carpet flower, hydroblast, pyroblast, for 3 red elemental blast, and maybe the one Misk. Vogt have a Misk in the sideboard. Vogt doesn't know that Biava has double monastery mentor in the main. Also, he can put surgical extraction for red elemental blast seems huge. Also, the double pyroblast is a thing, and the wandering emperor seems a great card here. Okay. It's interesting the fact that Biava can steal the first game because I think it's not easy for Jeskai control to kill for color control in the main deck because you have a lot of threats to fight. Misk is a very big problem because if they resolve it's impossible to revamp from that. Biava has the triumph for that probably because he could play a prismatic ending for 4.
Does he have any
There, I think-
Caracas? Because it's a really important card in the matchup. Every threat from the four-color side can be
No
resolved
Caracas.
with Caracas.
No Caracas, but he has the Raffin Tower. He has the Raffin Tower that it's
It's the only try only got.
yeah, yeah, that is good because you can prismatic ending for 4. The mana base is very aggressive against wasteland because it's full of dual. 7 dual lands, 6 duals plus a triumph, only 2 island. You have to handle a lot in the main deck because you don't have the basic planes. That is a point against Delver.
Yeah, we will see.
Also, your threats are very difficult to fight because Monastery Mentor is not that great, Jace is not that great. You are full of removals, so your plan is to try to grind Delver.
Yeah, trade 1 for 1 as much as
At a
you
one
can.
time, play a mentor with minor misstep up and try to make that mentor survive, and then you can destroy your opponent with card advantage because you also have double Sanctuary plus Expressive Iteration.
Yeah, it's a really old approach
Yeah.
from the game in
Yeah,
some sense.
I know that Ricardo last week tried to tried a lot a lot decks. He tried the 4-color control deck, but he preferred to play his own style deck list. So I told with him yesterday, and he said to me that he tried to create his deck in a form similar to 4-color. So he cut all the 3 mana planeswalker for expressive iteration and aggressive the meta. This is his approach. Double terminus, it's a lot. It's a very interesting build.
I really like every game that starts with land go, land go, land go.
Yeah.
Because if one of the side decide to start, and that's not probably the case of this matchup, but in general in Legacy, every time one of the players decide to be the first to put the problem into play, the game starts going really fast because you need to answer everything every time you hit the board. So it reduces the number of cards you will draw naturally, and this means that luck matters more.
Yeah.
So I really like every time we can see a slow game.
Time for brainstorm.
The most difficult card to play.
Yeah, here Biava wants probably to make sure about land drop. He also side in the Timeless Dragon. That is a strange card to see against a control, but you know, maybe you think about the fact that for color control, cut all the removal spell, and a 4/4 with flying, it's great against Minsk because Minsk can debug and block, and you can destroy the Minsk with only 1 attack. That seems a huge point. So land go, brainstorm, minor misstep. It's time for a misstep on a misstep, maybe.
I'm less sure than
Misstep the misstep is
than before. Because in the game 1, you know, you're not facing any Pyroblast
perfect.
or
Oh, very aggressive on depth because you need a land drop here.
and
No, skip the land drop. You didn't find land drop, so probably you have to shuffle here. And
But I think shuffle, then draw naturally, and then try to Uro.
yeah,
It's the best way. And
yeah, but you
and-
want to shuffle here.
yeah,
though.
for sure. I'm not completely sure about using this misstep because your opponent could have kept something like to plow
Yeah.
or something like this, and being able to protect this Uro.
Yeah, also Misstep is a great card to protect Minsk
Yeah.
against Hydroblast. So I'm not sure about that because it's very, very difficult to know what is the right timing to play Misstep. We have to play more probably the card to exactly know the right timing for the card.
Another brainstorm. Huh? and the Reb from Ricardo's side. He found a force wheel.
Yeah,
Now you're forced to do this
this will.
this Euro.
But
I'm not happy about this situation. Probably you could have just Pyro or Rev the misstep if you really want to resolve the brainstorm. I don't know.
it's strange because
It makes sense because you can say my opponent cut all the plow,
yeah.
so I'm free to cast my Euro, and even if he tries to counter it, I can recast it from a graveyard basically forever. So he decided to take another tropical island in order to keep the volcanic on top. The only land that fits this spot beside the tropical is the taiga, but I don't know. I'm not really happy to play
No.
taiga right now.
Brainstorm resolve. Yeah, but know that now it's the time to spin here.
Yeah, if you manage to find a wasteland, you will be really ahead. So I think you can untap and fetch, and he got Jace in his hand, but no protection, no misstep. So I don't think he can slam it.
Triumph here. This is a smart move because you want to shuffle with brainstorm but not play any cards, so you have access to the 4 color for Misk now.
Mentor. This mentor
Mentor. It seems good.
is a card, but I mean you are not able to do any.
Yeah, but
Any
you can
token?
play land and mentor all the brainstorm, all the pyroblast for Uro. That is relevant. The only problem is that Vogt has in hand something like swords. But probably you has to go here for this mentor because it's a must threat for a must response for Vogt, so he has to force probably here.
It's not a great spot for Vogue. We haven't seen
No.
him in a great spot in both
Pyroblast
matchups.
here, that is huge. So you are now up with a bunch of red elemental blast. So now
He needs to draw land for sure. Iteration is not a land. He can Uro, but Ricardo can fetch for Sanctuary and put on
no,
top.
now you probably play expressive and try to find a carpet of flower. That could be a good card here. Yeah, he find carpet of flower. So he find a land drop and a carpet of flower.
A wasteland. So carpet in hand.
Mystery Forest here. So you can play carpet of flower, hold up a pyroblast, and create a Euro.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can't, but you cannot hold up pyroblast.
There's no way to. There was no way, I think, to hold the pyroblast.
No, you have
this
to
card.
go for Euro. I'm
You-
pretty sure about
You
that.
could have probably thinking about tapping the white mana, but I can see the point of keeping it untapped. I don't know how many plow he still got in his deck. Nothing special to take back on top. You could have put misstep on top
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Sanctuary.
could be to protect Euro. No, you can protect Euro,
You can make another land drop, but
but you
you got
don't
no
have
land, so
No,
it's pointless.
yeah.
You could have put on top expressive iteration.
Yeah, expressive iteration could be something. Okay.
So this will resolve,
Yeah.
but then it's time for Mentor to shine.
Yeah. Now you can just ending the Euro, or maybe play Chase plus prismatic Jace bounce
Plus
the
misstep.
Euro.
Ricardo can fetch for Sanctuary, put him misstep on top, and then try to play Jace and try to
Counter the Pyroblast, bounce the Euro.
double token.
Yeah.
It's a really aggressive line. And obviously, it's easy for us to say that because we see both hand.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would not be
Surprised
surprised
about it.
if Ricardo
Yeah,
managed to find this way
The
to
way
win the game.
the way how Ricardo play control deck is unique. So we are well known about his way to play. So we can expect that quite easily. So
Sanctuary, of course. And now the real question is,
Pyroblast or Minor Misstep?
yeah, they are both good cards because probably Pyroblast is safer because if your opponent doesn't force your Jace, you
You
can,
can use Pyroblast for
as a
Euro.
removal
Yeah, yeah, maybe Pyroblast is better.
because it gives you
Two.
double option.
Yeah, it's modal.
And I'm not even sure that at this point Ricardo will try to play Jace. It depends a lot from the draw. No, but we know
the
it.
draw
We know
is
it's
Pyroblast.
the draw Pyroblast.
No. I think you have to slam here. You can slam here Jace plus Pyroblast. Or another safe choice could be Prismatic ending the Euro,
And keeping
Pyroblast off.
that's another point.
Attack for 3 you go down to 19.
Only Pyroblast in Mark's hand.
Yeah. Marx has Tutor deck here, a very strong card.
That's why I would have considered to put something like
Expressive
iteration
iteration.
on top.
You have the fetch, you can do that. Oh no. A land is probably game over.
I would have considered probably to
Cycle
Ah,
the
you-
dragon,
right.
take a Tundra. Okay, Tundra. Slam the dragon here. What a move. It's a 4/4 black now. Attack for 3. Let go. The draw is a force that is useless. So the game seems take over here. You can expressive iteration trigger the mentor. So Vox probably Pyroblast here because it is the only way to come up from that situation. Or Jace, another Pyroblast here. So now it's time to top deck a Terminus.
He needs to, because even if he manages to
4,
resolve
8, 9, 10, 11. So you have only one turn.
probably
Yeah,
even
no.
Uro is enough.
No, Ruder it's not enough.
You gain 6 life.
Chiedono dei titoli, secondo me.
Le segnano loro.
Le segnano loro. Sono giuste, digli. È un circo.
Ti chiedono le vite che ha quello che sta a fondo prima dell'attacco di piano.
Sì.
Non sono io.
E devo anche tenergli le carte in mano. Meno male è brava, cioè ragazzi, queste cose le può fare solo lui. Okay, so now it's time for expressive iteration. You want to find a terminus here. It's not easy to recover from this situation.
The question is how many removal mark
No, only
left
the
in his,
Vrat.
left in his
Yeah.
deck. Volevi sapere le loro vite?
No, no, no,
non
no.
lo so neanche loro.
Io gli ho comprato una mala che è più fuori.
Pyroblast on expressive iteration.
You need to force it.
Yeah, but. Okay, so now you have 6 mana left for Terminus. No. It's
Uro.
game over. Yeah. You use the Carpet Flower mana. So you can only Euro for. Yeah, with a land drop you can.
You can make Uro, but it's not enough. He needs to find Uro plus removal.
Now you gain 6. So go to 8, take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The only way to escape from this situation
Terminus.
without Terminus would have been playing Uro and find a removal, but you need to make Uro 2 times in order
Yeah.
to have the body to block the Mentor.
Yeah.
But this requires a lot of mana.
Yeah, this is true. Play Euro, go down to 5, draw, up. Play land, Euro go in graveyard, now you go to 3. It's impossible to recover because
For 7 life. You needed to find the land now and the removal.
yeah, but
the
you
next.
draw only 1 card, so you are
Yeah.
dead on board.
I mean, if
that
with
draw-
if in
This draw, you find a land or a
for
Morra.
removal you could be alive,
Alive.
top decking the other piece.
Yeah, but it's only a matter of time. So, wow, the Sky Control version defeat a 4-color Control version. That seems strange because I think that 4-color Control is favorable in the matchup.
Yeah, I think so, but I mean we've seen both games and Mark wasn't really in the conversation
Yeah.
for all the time.
Yeah, the problem is that the timing of the spell of Ricardo was very huge, and the aggressive line to counter the cantrip of Mark was amazing.
Yeah, of course. So there's nothing more to say about this match. Usually, if you are the 4 control player, you are happy to play this matchup because you got every resources that you need, and you can make your 2 colors more matter.
So I will go to the table and try to pick someone of the player to talk a bit.
All right.
Okay.
So let's see if someone wants to come here and talk with us. Just to not let you say our banner going for hours. Quanto tempo manca? So we got 15 minutes left until time's in the round. Hopefully we can speak with one of the players. Riusciamo ad avere anche la chat? Così magari rispondo loro intanto che... E dopo glielo faccio fare a Nicolino. Vediamo se qualcuno ha detto qualcosa. Abbiamo domande? No. Sì. Non si sa. Vabbè, raga, di cosa parliamo in questi... Abbiamo un sacco di argomenti oggi. Allora, ci sono i suoni delle carte, chilometri e chilometri per centinaia di metri. Poi, altro che abbiamo sulla nostra agenda, lo sponsor è sempre lì, 9bit, qua, qui. Poi, cos'altro abbiamo? Un po' presto però per cominciare con... Hi Mark, how are you?
Samuele will interview you. He won the pre-modern event yesterday.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. So you introduced me?
Yeah, I don't think you really need any words to introduce you because you are one of the strongest legacy player in Europe. For us in Italy, you represent a control master with a different approach because, as you noticed, here in Italy we love to play blue-white.
Yes, with
all-
Mentor. I just got crushed by it, as you saw on stream,
Yeah,
but it's okay. I actually had a very fun match, so I think that Ricardo is his name,
Yeah,
right?
Ricardo.
He's a super friendly guy, and his deck building is awesome. If I lose to something, I'd rather be at this match than like reanimate Grizzlebrand.
Yeah,
you know,
of
like
course.
it's a lot more fun to lose against this. And yeah, Bologna has been very good to me. Not just the GP title, of course, but I have been here on all 4Seasons events since Corona gone away.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
like all 4.
Very
And
happy, obviously, to have you here.
I'm super happy that you're doing it because this is great. And I hear even from the Americans or Japanese people where they're still organized play or they have like Eternal Weekend, I still hear them that they are jealous about Europe because we have this great community, and this great community is actually what you are doing.
No.
Like I really honestly, I believe we have the best Magic in the world, the best legacy scene, the strongest legacy scene in the world. Because of your organization, so
No, I think that we are a big community, so that's legacy, but not only us in Italy. You both, all the Spanish guy, the German guy, so everyone is part of the community. And the result of every 4Seasons is not made by us, but by you, because you came here and you decided to spend your free time with us, and that's a really great thing.
No, I'm trying to come every 3 months. So far, it has worked out. Even so, I have 2 children. But that worked out, and actually I'm like, again, Bologna has been good to me. So the first 4 seasons I won like the side event where you got still like 400 euros for it, that paid for my whole trip. And the second time I got in top 8, which I think gave 1,000 euros. Then the third time I was top 8 in the European
Legacy Masters.
Yeah, that was great. Super fun event as well, and top 16 in the main event. And then this time I actually got to win the pre-modern yesterday.
What did you play? Yes.
Yeah, I have to show actually. I have to show.
No, I have a question.
Okay.
I saw your Force of Will on Scourgealter page.
Yeah, he's the best.
And they are amazing.
Yes.
So I have
okay, so let's first look at the forces. They
because
are. Maybe you can show them.
For everyone who don't know, you can follow him on Twitter because you always made a picture of your deck, and the deck
Normally,
it's amazing to see. So the concept is from Terence Nielsen, if I
yes,
wrote
it is copied from an original concept from the original artist, but it's done by Scorch. And the fun part about it is for all the old school players, these are the gins from the early sets, right?
Yeah.
It's Mahamoti Gin, Ernum Gin, Jusam Gin, and Serendip Gin. And
Amazing.
and we actually altered the names too, which is like. The legacy players are fine with it. You see, it's still a Force of Will because it's like the guy with the pose, but you see, it's called Jusam's Will on top now. It's not Force of Will anymore. So it's a bit crazy, but people like it. So I have not had any complaints about it.
All the deck is amazing, honestly.
Thank you.
I'm really in love with your choose
I
of the cards.
have a lot of passion for nice looking cards. And yeah, for pre-modern, I actually wrong box. But I made a brew for pre-modern. That's why I'm especially happy that I could win the pre-modern event, because I was really excited to try this deck out, and I think it's really new, a new kid on the block, and I think it's maybe here to stay. So I always wanted to, like, Legacy is fun, but there are some cards you just never get to play with, and these are 2 of them. And I had like 4 of each of those in my deck, and it's amazing.
What's the payoff?
For Oath of Druids, I think that is even more fun. So the payoff are these 2 guys, and I wouldn't fault anyone in chat if you don't know them. Do you know them?
Yes.
So we have Ancestors Chosen, that's a 4/4 first strike, that when it comes into play you gain life equal to the amount of cards in your graveyard. And since you activated Oath, it's often like you have 30, 40 cards in your graveyard, so you go to 60 life. And in pre-modern, it's really hard for some decks to kill you through 60 life. And the other card is Shard Phoenix. I have it altered by Jeff Laubenstein. He was like at the European Pre-Modern Championship, super nice guy. So he painted the show and tell, and he painted for me the show and tell guy on it, showing the Shard Phoenix. And the Shard Phoenix is actually a 2/2 flyer that you can sacrifice to deal 2 damage to all non-flying creatures. And the nice part is the sacrifice has no mana cost, so it can never be Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
So this will always stay in my deck, and with Scarce Blessing, you
can reshuffle.
You can reshuffle. You go to 60 life, maybe this guy gets Swords to Plowshares, and then you just reshuffle this, and at some point you just kill them with the 2/2 flyer. That's it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a really fun deck, and it's like a blue version of Parfait with land tax in it, and Scroll Rack. Scroll Rack is like the Brainstorm of pre-modern, right? Even more complicated to play than Brainstorm, I think, because you're like, okay, I have 7 cards, I put them back, okay, which 7 cards did I have on top? Now I fetch, now I put another 7 cards on top. Okay, which 7 cards in which order? It's like, you have to do a lot of tracking, and I love it. Like, that's exactly the kind of Magic that I want to play, that I'm good at, and yeah, totally.
I totally agree with you. We need to try pre-modern. It's a shame that we can play it on Magic Online, honestly.
I do actually play it in the testing room. It's like a room where you can play all formats and you just can go to practice. And actually, I realized that there's almost always somebody wanting to play pre-modern in the practice rooms. And what you can also do is you can join the pre-modern Discord, and you will almost always find someone that wants to play camera match. So the pre-modern community is really dedicated, and if you want to get into it, there's a lot of people who like to teach like how it works. There's a lot of different web pages that show you all the most important deck archetypes. In my opinion, if you want to join in, the best choices are Goblins, Elves, Parfait, that's what I'm playing, and Dreadnought. Those are like the clearly tier 1 decks in my opinion. But there's like a bazillion tier 1.5, tier 2 decks that you can play that you can also win a tournament with. Like I started with blue-white, Parallax Tide Control, that's totally fun. It's a bit behind these other decks because it's just more clunky. But there's like, I'd say there's at least 40 decks that you can win a tournament with, and that's insane. Like the variety is through the roof. And of course, I started playing with these cards, so I still know when I had a Psychotok in my booster pack. So that's like, I love it.
Yeah. It's an old Magic fashioned way to enjoy the game, and I really like it.
And it's cheaper than old school. You don't need
Yeah,
like
of
power
course.
pieces or something. You still need like there's like, depending on the deck, Goblins is really cheap. There's no reserve list cards. But the other decks, they might have something like Mox Diamond, Gear's Cradle, Dreadnought. So you have to dish out a couple of euros, but in the end, I think it's a good investment. So it's not bad
And
to
most
buy
of the
into
time,
it.
if you are a legacy player, you already own
Yeah.
that card from the past,
Yes,
so
yes.
that
I
does
agree.
not be so hard. So, any consideration about your deck? I saw your deck listed yesterday because I saw
For
you
pre-modern or legacy?
for Legacy.
Yeah.
I saw you playing, and I really enjoying your list. You are guilty for making me buy a Tort. I have to tell you, because I love that deck.
Yes.
It's really insane.
Yeah, I love the deck. Even so, I just lost on stream. I have an insane win percentage with it in tournaments, like over 80%. I can really recommend this deck. It's a ton of fun, and I personally think that SWAT is actually MVP. It's a one-off. You can pitch it to Force of Will, so the cost of playing it is really low. And the benefit in the late game, where you have like 8 lands in play, you have the 2 Mystic Sanctuary, right? When you like free counter spell without card disadvantage, you bounce back the 2 Mystic Sanctuary. The first Mystic Sanctuary puts back Thwart on top.
Yeah.
It's like
You
the
can
opponent
roll
can't
it.
win anymore.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
insane.
Of course.
Yeah.
I really love the idea, and I really love the courage you have to always try to innovate the deck, because it's not that easy, and you are a lighthouse for a lot of control player out there that I'm pretty sure that everyone is looking at you when it comes to the build of for color control. So it's always a pleasure and an honor to have you here
Thank
among
you.
us.
Thank you.
And abbiamo delle domande alla chat. Any question? Or can we free him? Alright.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
Thank
for,
you for having
your
me.
time, enjoying your weekend, and
I will.
hoping to see you in the last round fighting.
Let's see. I mean, 1-0 start is like tough to come back. But last time I went with a 2-2 start into 8-2, so top 16. Sometimes it happens. It's okay. I really learned that, like I'm trying hard to win, of course. That's otherwise you wouldn't have a good win percentage. But I really taught myself to have fun even when you're losing, and I think that's actually a skill you need to develop.
Yeah.
On it. At least I had to develop
Absolutely.
it. So I'm trying to have fun. I'm gonna play this. If it goes wrong, I'll just play the side event. Right? You offer another Legacy side event. So anyway, I'm gonna have fun playing Legacy all day, and that's what I want to do with my friends. So yeah.
Everything is perfect. Alright, thank you guys so much for staying with us. We will be back in a minute with the round number 2. Bye.
Bye bye.
Welcome back here for round number 2 with me, not Marco Male, but yeah, change a bit. Andrea Piemonti is here. Now it's time for a format that is not your main format.
Yep.
It's legacy time. In the last match we saw a control mirror, Mark Vov that won probably the last GP legacy.
Yeah.
With for color control against Ricardo Biava, well-known control player with J-Sky control, and J-Sky control takes the match very easily. And that is strange. Also, and even know that the matchup is not quite favorable for J-Sky, but was impressive how Biava handled the match. He was very hard with minor misstep on the cantrip and then slam a mentor and win quite easily with a lot of boards. Biava has a very strange version of J-Sky with full duals, a triumph, expressive iteration, so he was able to make a lot of card advantage and destroy the opponent menace with Euro and Miskemu. So it's very cool, a very cool match. Now we will see a match, a very strange match. I think that is sometimes polarized, but it's not polarized for one direction every time because it depends on the draw of the others. I'm talking about Elves against Ruby Shadow. Elf is favorable for sure game 1, but in game 2 he has Plug Engineer that is a very game changer. We don't have we have the list right now. Oh, Salvador is not playing Elf, but Depths, so the things change a bit. Okay, I'm not sure here. This is a fast version of the Dark Depths that could be great in game 1 because if you make the 2020, Shadow doesn't have any response to that. But if not, it's possible for Ubi Shadow to fight through that because he has Wasteland that is a counter for the combo.
Of course.
He doesn't have any response to the Dark
Dramatic
Depths.
Mage,
yeah, in the main deck because he doesn't play Brazen Borrower or Stifle effect. So
I guess his plan is just to stick a Baleful Streak, so hopefully blocks and get
kill
through with
yeah,
shadows.
I think the plan of Brennan is to make a fast combo scam start with Grief and reanimate a multiple size effect and hope that Salvatore won't draw naturally the combo.
Yeah.
For sideboard, you have access to some card, but we will talk about that later.
Sure.
So, I think it's important to know what player will start.
Yeah, I guess the first one who talks is
Yeah. Also, the possibility for Tommaso to go fast on turn 1 with Petal, Elvish Reclaimer will be a thing.
Forbidden Needle in the board. Wow.
Yeah, that is a way to respond to Wasteland and also to Caracas. So it's a very good counter pick for the opponent. And also there are non volevo chiamare nessuno. Also there are some strange situation when Beating Needle is a blast. Maybe against Painter you draw naturally and you can stop the combo in game 1 quite easily with that.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. Yeah, I like the deck a lot.
Yes,
I think we can say to the player that they can start the match. Did you play Legacy in the recent past?
Yes, I just played the Legacy for a couple of months now, but I just play mono white
Uh-huh.
because since I main play modern and they have other
Yeah.
formats to test, for me it's just a relax. I consider
Relaxed way to play Magic.
Yes, so I just like to play mono green, mono white because it seems you do your stuff. You don't really have to think much. So
Did you enjoy the format?
yes, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think the format it's different and similar to modern. There are some decks that are very similar. I think you can play very not at the top for now, but if you take Delver for example, blue red Murktide, at first I think you can play very easily in a average and good position because it's very similar to blue red Murktide way to play the play pattern. But it's interesting because there are some different deck, different strategy. Also, Force of Will it's a game
Yeah.
changer.
They
Yeah, this is a card that I prefer to be banned, but that is another thing. Okay, it's a great start for Salvatore because he has Yavimaya plus Petal and Sylvan's Shrine. That was a very strong start because Yavimaya make mana from Dark Depths, so you can go more fast. But so for this reason, Joe forced that because in the reality it's a 2 for 2 because you force also the Petal and the Sylvan's
Yes.
Scrying, and then Wasteland the Yavimaya because he know that it's a very good start.
yeah.
So now it's time for a Grief. That is a very aggressive start for sure. Now,
I think we'll take the silver Shrine, right?
yeah, it's not that simple because Vampire combo
Yeah, it can.
remove all the counter. So you are, probably depends in your end. If you have a response for Vampire in like Wasteland, it's a good way to take this advanced screen. That way, you remove a part of the combo from the hand of Salvatore because Sylvan's Shrine can take the Dark Depths, but you have less number of cards that make the 2020.
Yeah. I was just worried about card advantage that Sinan Scrank can provide, but I guess it's just he's just worried about fast combo. So he can never get better
yeah.
in the
I
late
think
game.
this version of BG Depths can play in a long run, so you don't take care about the card advantage.
Sure.
Sylvan's Shrine is simply a demonic tutor for the combo. There are no way to win except that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you can race with Elfish Spirit Guide, but I don't think it's great. So now probably Joe will want to find a reanimate for this card, or maybe some threats in the form of the Shadow or Murktide. Because
I
it's
didn't like
simply
this shadow deck because it seems very similar to what I wanna do in modern, but sometimes I can't. So
yeah. This deck, it's a tempo deck with broken starts.
yeah,
That's all. Yeah, I like Shadow, and I'm take that advice to new player that come from modern to try that deck because the play pattern is very similar. So you can handle your life. You are able to handle your life because you know about Shockland.
Yeah.
And also it's very funny because interesting. There are a lot of interaction. You play all the great time spell of Legacy, Brainstorm, Ponder, Force of Will and Days, and also it's cheap.
yeah.
This is a
You
a
don't
thing.
have to buy too many underground seeds, I guess.
Yeah, there are some budget options that are not so defeat for the deck. For example, you can play without Underground Sea, only with 4 Watery Grave and 1 island. That in the past was a minus, but now it's good because you want the island for initiative when you steal the initiative. So you can start without dual land, so without card in reserved list, and then both the first Underground Sea.
Sure.
That is great, I think. because with a playset of Force-Will, the rest of the deck is a power deck.
Yeah.
Okay, Bojuka Bug prevent the multi happening and
that's
also
the
the
reanimate.
reanimate. So Salvatore now
And it's like freelance and
Yeah.
Sylvan's crying.
yeah, probably he doesn't want to Sylvan's crying here for
Yeah, I guess it's better to wait to find the right. Well, he does.
yeah.
Maybe it was better to wait to find the right
One,
combo
one
piece.
of the pieces and you Sylvan's crying for the other. Wow, all the layout are depths.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like all the deck, all the layout. You know, you have.
Yeah, you have all the card, Sylvan's Crying, all the layout, Vampire X Mage, all the layout, it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has also Onward working on. I think it's probably okay to do this move because from now on you fade all the discard spells.
Yeah, but not all. There is Into Turok.
Oh, okay.
Joe doesn't play that, but it's not a norm. It could be a thing for Shadow to has access to 2 copies of Into Turok.
Okay.
So it's a risky.
Sure.
Brainstorm is the play here. The Boseiju is great in end because it's a counter to Wasteland. So you can Boseiju the Wasteland and then go for the combo. That is a great
Yeah, I
card.
guess that's why he's not playing
the Boseiju.
also the depths.
Yeah, probably Salvatore now has to stick in hand the Dark Depths forever
Yes.
until the combo. Okay. Crack Fetch tapped. Or no, untapped for Shadow. Okay, there is a clock here.
Yeah, now the race begin.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, not from this world. The 7 mana counter that costs 0 if you have a big monster in play.
Yeah, I really love that card to be honest, but I think in this matchup is one of the first cards that goes out, or at least like in the main deck it does nothing. Maybe in the sideboard it has some.
Yeah, it's strange because could be a great card against Barazenboro, one of the few interaction after the combo off, but is a plus B card, so it's not that great. We will see. Probably you want some removal in post sideboard or some.
Can you take care of Caracas activation with that, or it's just a counter?
No, it's just counter.
Okay.
It's counter spell or something like that. Okay, so Shadow. Baleful Strix is not that bad because takes you a time walk against the 2020.
But I guess it can be targeted by Boseiju, that's another funny
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, one thing I like about Legacy is you have those more complicated things, and the more the format progresses, so new cards get added, the more the lines, multiplies.
Yeah, this is true. This is true for every Eternal format. Maybe in a decade, Modern will be the same for sure. The only thing that I fear about Legacy is the addition of strange card like Infinite card.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried the attraction. They are not that great, so they are not implementing the match in a very good way. But it's strange because, create a balloon, a clown, it's something strange and more complicated. Also because that card interaction with a part of the game that is strange for 1 versus 1, that is the command zone. Because the attraction deck is in the command zone and also the yard of the attraction. But sometimes it's good because you can skip the modern and and the standard format to add something here.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of super strange cards. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Or reanimate the Vampire X-Mage.
yeah, I guess that's make your shadow bigger and
Yeah, and
progress
also
forward.
create a threat.
Yeah, I think Brennan is very ahead of this game. We will probably see a game 2 in.
Yeah, also because now you had to go down around of the wasteland and the streaks. He attacking that way because it's this is a one turn clock.
Yeah, I guess
They forget to make down the life because Salvatore is at 9.
I guess these
Six,
are.
7, so it's 3.
Yeah.
Okay,
I really
double
like
jump.
these two sides to see.
What are
have
the
more
more
informations.
information?
Yeah.
In fact, it's okay. It's a okay move. So for the sideboard, in Joe Brennan's side, he'll put for sure Brazen Borrower. That is great. Maybe Dress Down could be a card.
To kill the.
Not to kill the Dark Depths, but for champ with everything
Oh,
and
okay.
losing Destructible, and also
Also to raise with
to
charms.
race you can make strange move,
It might be smart, yes.
or maybe against a crop for Dark Depths to create a 2020 response. You can dress down the Vampire X-Mage,
Sure.
something like that. Could be if you had, because you have a lot of slot to take out, like Snuff Out doesn't nothing, doesn't really nothing.
And is surgical extraction is a card or is just?
Probably not,
Okay.
because you don't have into Turak, and also Salvatore in the Turbo Depths version doesn't have Life from the Loam.
Okay.
So it doesn't take care about the graveyard. So for making that card have an impact, you have to wasteland a piece of the combo, the Dark Depths, and then Surgical Dam.
Sure.
That
It seems
is
clunky.
probably it's a bit clunky because your deck is good, but it's a little stretch because you want to grief
Yeah, of
a
course.
lot. And so I think the sideboard is dead. Maybe only to the borrower and the dress down. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can think about Fatal Push for the vampire and also for the Sylvan Safekeeper if you expected them. The elf that
I
takes
know it, I know
Shroud.
it.
But I'm not really sure about that. Salvatore has more card. He's side in for sure. Abroad Decay, that is a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sylvan Library could be good
It
because
seems very good, yeah.
yeah, because it's a way to counter the grief interaction.
And maybe also snuff out to
Yeah.
leverage pressure.
Yeah, but it's only for Murktide.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's strange because Abroad Decay doesn't kill the Murktide,
Yeah.
and Snuff Out doesn't kill nothing. Also, Snuff Out doesn't kill Baleful Streaks. So I think the only way take them for Murktide is not that great because you have Vejuka Bog to counter that. This one is the land that give protection to a creature from a color.
Okay, and
This is for Caldra because you go to the germ protection from artifact.
that's smart, yeah. And what's Power Keg sideboard of?
Yeah, Powder Keg is a similar version of Ratchet Bomb. It's the old one with the Goblin
Yeah, I
with
got it.
Bomb. It's for a matchup like Artifact when you want to kill Chalice of the Void, also against Elves a card, and that is all. Maybe Painter, against Painter could be great.
So who you expect to be the winner of this second game?
Probably against Shadow, I think, because I think the only very not good match, not good game was game 1 because you have non-interaction for the combo.
Sure.
But in game 2 you are able to handling multiple time the combo of depths. So really, so now that Joe take in also the plug
Yeah,
engineer,
it was
it was
interesting.
probably a fear a lot about Sylvan Safekeeper.
Yeah.
So what is the call here?
I would probably.
Take the grief.
Yeah, I would take the grief, but I think it depends on
On your
Salvatore's
end.
hand, yeah.
Yeah, if your end is full of lands and you have the combo naturally, you don't have to take care about
maybe also
grief.
like taking the Fateful Streaks, that's the only card that draws. So
Yeah, that make a time walk for you.
Yeah.
So you want to go maybe very fast for the combo. So you see no
in fact,
counter
we
here.
see Salvatore's hand is full of lands, he has a Lotus
And
Petal.
full of Lotus Petal. So Lotus Petal, Depths, Abrupt Decay, and Trespian. Oh, this is the reason why you don't take the Grief.
Yeah, and also like Grief is 2 for 1, his hand is basically blank at this point, he has 1 shot on 3 lands.
Yeah, and my only question was why he doesn't play the Petal.
I guess I want to make Brennan decide. I'm not sure it's a good move, but I would play Petal just because my hand is very fast and I don't want this Petal to get taken.
Yeah, also because John can take the Petal here and Wasteland the Goseggio and make you very very slow to the combo. But he take the decay now, so probably he will play a Wasteland Pass or something.
Yes.
Yeah, but now you put Wasteland in play to protect from.
Yeah, it's just an assurance for the
Yeah.
future. Like I leave this in play.
Sylvan's crying. It's great. Sylvan's crying. It's great because you can fetch for Ghost Quarter, for example, or for Boseiju to kill the Wasteland.
Yeah, a card I'm surprised to not to see, but I think there is a specific reason. Is Urza Saga.
Yeah, because it's slow here.
Okay.
Because your deck is full combo. You have
Okay.
to see the deck like a full combo, and you need a lot of colored mana because you need black mana, double black mana for Vampire X Mage, green at the first for Sylvan Scrying.
Sure.
So it's not easy to green. So you don't have great target to take from the saga.
Oh, that's interesting.
You have to build around that. There are some version of the deck with Urza Saga,
Yeah, maybe,
but doesn't
that's-
play Lotus Petal and Elvish. There is only depth way to play that deck. There are multiple way. You can decide to play in a more control-ish way, and so you can play with Saga. It's not lands, but it's depths in a slow version. But this is a full combo version, probably because Salvatore think about the fact that this deck could win easily against initiative,
Yeah, it's
because you can make a 2020 with a protection and destroy them all, and also the full combo version is good against other combo.
Yeah, of course. And we see a Ghost Quarter,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, to take care of the wasteland.
Yeah, Ghost Quarter probably is better than Boseiju because request no mana, and and also it's possible that Joe doesn't have any basic land, so it's like a strip line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he kept in not from this world,
No,
maybe
he-
for borrowers and
Yeah,
stuff.
probably
Smart.
in his hand, in his head, the decision is I have to go through the combo and then navigate the few resources to handle the 2020.
Yeah, seems a smart. So we know Bren has still added shadow in hand, but he's still
Yeah, it's still fuel in the first
Yes.
turn, less interaction. Okay, Wasteland that response cut you a land. So
classic move.
yeah. Okay. Trespian stage
And
pass.
I guess the draw was a snuff out.
Yeah, he said in the snuff out. Yeah, but you saw the hand of Joe.
Yeah, it's just black, black
Yeah.
creatures.
Could be something, but it's not that great, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, time for action for Joe. Probably he has to find a response for the 2020.
Yes, maybe he has a country now.
Yeah, something like a brainstorm to refill your hand or size.
Just the Toxis, okay. And
Okay.
the good thing about the Toxis is now you can also deploy the shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you probably take not from this world.
I think so.
If you put shadow or not, you know that Salvatore will try to combo off next turn. So the only way to counter that is a wasteland here, or maybe to has a brazen borrower in hand, and probably now is that because Joe fetched 2 times to make a big shadow.
Yeah, it should be at 9, so shadow is a 4/4.
Yeah. Or maybe double shadow.
Maybe double shadow, yeah. Yeah, I really like the shadow in this format because you know sometimes when you play modern you have to play other creatures.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, here is only a control-ish version.
yeah, and but you have so many cantrips you can easily find your
Yeah.
best threat.
Yeah, I saw a version of this type of stylish of shadow in modern that was playing from Dan 1990 or something like that
Yeah,
on
yeah.
MTGO, the UB shadow version
Yeah, I
with
know.
Archer Mage Charm, but seems you don't have access to the cantrip, so it
It's
seems
just
not
just a
great.
worse version of
Of
Mortal.
yeah, sure. So Inapti created 2020. And now your only way is to draw the borrower. Or maybe create a multi. Woo! Yes. Good draw for Joe.
I think he had it in hand. I saw
Yeah.
something blue in hand. I thought it was a
Yeah,
Mortal.
probably. Yeah, and I think now it's game over.
Yeah, Salvatore is way too behind.
Yeah, also because it's very slow to recover and to recreate threats. Also, you have Snuff Out in hand that doesn't do nothing against Shadow.
And this shadow is a 4/4. Borrower is a 3/3. Okay,
Yeah.
now it's 5/5.
Yeah. You have one draw here to draw a land for Abru Decay the Shadow.
And then
You can snuff out the borrower, but you go too slow in life and also with no card in hand. It's not easy.
I don't really want to be in this position versus
No, versus Shadow.
the tempo deck.
Oh, Plug Engineer, that name probably helps. And that is a smart move because dodge the snuff out. Joe know about that. Bosejo, yeah, so you can decay the shadow here. Okay, so I try to attack you for 7. And you obviously decay my shadow. It's okay. So 2 happens. You go down to 6.
And now I guess like this.
Oh, I'm
just
more
a
excited. Yeah. If you want, you can lose half of your life for kill the Murktide. But it's okay.
Always happy when a Murktide takes over the game.
Yeah. Tower of Magistrate is not great here, so
Why decided on that?
for give protection.
Okay.
Okay. Adilego. Fammi un'altra domanda. Sì, per i chilometri. Okay, so I think the game is over here because now you attack for lethal again, yeah, so handshake was easily Shadow is great. A lot of players played that version today. The metagame is something like 3 decks today. It's like a lot of Delver, blue-red Delver with the black splash for snuff out, and a lot of Shadow with Grief, and Initiative is less present than Cephalid.
Okay, yeah.
Cephalid is the most present combo, and then Initiative. So I think Shadow is a great choice for today because you can try to go very very fast against Cephalid Illusionist combo deck. Also, it's a good meta call against Initiative.
But how is the matchup versus Delver?
It's not bad. Sometimes Shadow in general eats all the Delver because you have Shadow that is a black threat without removal in the other side because also Snap-Out doesn't take care about that. I'm not sure about the add of Grief because Grief is not that great against. But also Battlefield Strict is a very very powerful threat against Shadow.
But I guess you can Pyroblast it.
Yeah, but it's make card advantage. So
Yeah.
if you resolve, it's great. So you have to handle that. Also, you have a playset of reanimate for that. So it's multiple time. You have to be an expert of the matchup because you have to know the life. But in general, I think that Shadow is very well against that.
Okay,
So it's a great meta call, I think.
I'm happy we will see some more Shadow today.
Yeah, because the very problematic matchup for Shadow, and there are no way to fix that. You can ask a tutor hero, you know very well, is the control matchup.
Okay.
It's impossible to counter that. So it's a great choice if the meta is less present of control. So we will drink a break and we will come again here for round number 3 at the Legacy main event of the 4Season tournament.
See you later.
See you later.
did.
And you went
I went 4-3.
for free, okay? So you want to talk about today, or do you prefer talking about something different?
It's your TV show. Whatever you want to talk about, man.
Alright.
I don't care.
It's changing your name on. Ready?
Yeah.
Alright, here we are with an aficionado of 4Seasons, I could say. And it's always a pleasure to have you here because for us it's really important that someone can only think about taking a so long trip just to stay here and play with us. So this means a lot for us. This means that the event is at least fine and the weekend is cool. So we have already seen you playing Legacy. I think everyone knows you, and I think you are a vintage expert. I don't know if you consider yourself more a vintage or Legacy player. Vintage is better.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to ask you. I saw you play that Shadow,
Yeah.
and it's not. I don't know what to say. It's not the most usual choice for a player who is not regularly played format. And what's your thinking about the process of choosing the deck?
It's my budget deck.
It's so strange listening to you talking about budget, but it's okay.
So I've been playing it for about a month now. I think it's the best deck in Legacy.
Right?
Because the two most popular decks are Mono White Initiative and Blue Red Delver, followed by Cephalid Breakfast and Red or Blue Painter. Red seems to be a little more popular, but both of them. And Shadow is quite favored against all of those matchups. Where Shadow is bad is against the decks that those newer decks to the format have pushed out, like the white-based control decks, like 4-color control, Minsk and Boo, or like Angelo Cadet style Miracles, which is always popular, you know. But and lands is not the greatest matchup either. Like you can win, but it's especially game one. Like you don't have any answer to a Marit Lage game one. You just have to save your wastelands for the trigger. But I mean, playing a deck that's favored against all of the best decks and disfavored against the decks that are being pushed out seems great. And you kind of free roll against all the combo decks because you have so much disruption.
Are you playing with Minor Misstep?
No, I don't. I think it's a reasonable legacy card, but I don't think Death Shadow needs it. You have so much. You have more disruption than any other deck in the format. Of course, 8 discard spells and 8 counter spells. And you can scan the Reanimate Grief or whatever too. It's pretty disruptive deck.
Yeah, and also it's really hard to put a new card into a deck like Shadow because you got a package that you can take out from the decks. Cards like Thoughtseize and Street Raid. So like,
well, I'm not playing Street Raid.
Yeah, because you're playing with the Grief, so you already have to make a strong decision on your build.
And I have it constructed where it's so like the shadows are bad against all the white decks.
Right.
So against every white deck, I have a post-board strategy where I'm cutting the 4 shadows and some other number of cards to bring in, you know, Torok and maybe Brazen Borrower. Some matchups Plague Engineer and you know things like that. And just become a more controlling blue-black control deck with a lot of disruptive elements, and then powerful threats that they can't really interact with.
Yeah, Turach is also a really powerful creature in this meta because protection from white is really
It's
huge.
huge, yeah.
And it helps you to take back the initiative, you get protection from basically every removal, it works really well in Thoughtseas and Grief because it pumps,
Yep.
so it's a really cool card. And what to say, why did you prefer this version with Grief instead of the normal one?
This is better against Delver because you have 4 Baleful Strix, and the card Reanimate's actually really good against Delver. Reanimate's good against a lot of things, like when it just all kind of fits together really well. You get to reanimate your opponent's initiative creatures that you discarded on turn 1 pretty frequently, and then you just have to be concerned about their touch the Spirit Realms, so you don't flicker it and get it back.
Yeah, sure.
But it's a pretty favorable matchup. Like you have snuff outs and stuff like that. So I think having the extra 4 discard spells really shore up any of the unfair matchups, and the ability to have all 4 reanimates seems really good right now.
Yeah, I agree. I tried the deck a couple of times because I'm a Delver aficionado, so every time something new comes out, I want to try it, and I feel it's so much more complicated than the normal version because you have a lot of tough decisions to take on turn 1 based on 0 information from your opponent, so it's not that easy to decide when going in with Grief, when only wait, when trying to play a little bit behind. I am a Canadian player, so I am a little bit more conservative. I used to play with Stifle, and my game plan doesn't fit really well this new version, but I'm really enjoying it, and a lot of Italian Delver players tried it on Magic Online and did really well, so I'm really curious to understand if
It's very consistent. Like most of the cards in the deck are 4-ofs, so you're executing the same plan pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Your cantrips more often than not are just pitches for Force of Will. Like you generally, because of the high quantity of each different piece of the puzzle that makes your deck function, you're more consistently drawing them without having to cantrip for them. And you can play a pretty low land count because you function on very low mana.
Are you on 17?
I'm on 18.
18?
Yeah, but I board out a land in most matchups.
Yeah, of course. Shadow most of the time works even with the 17 lands, so
Yeah.
it's definitely useful.
Yeah, against the white decks, I board out a Watery Grave because I'm taking out the Death Shadows. And against most of the other non-wasteland decks, I board out an island. I just keep the island in for initiative, obviously. You get the island, and against the wasteland decks. So against the wasteland decks, they're often decks where your Baleful Strixes are the best. So you want to be able to fetch for island to ponder on turn 1 to be able to cast Baleful Strix turn 2 without getting wasteland.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. What did you play against on round 1?
Reanimator.
An easy matchup, I think.
Yeah, well, at first I didn't know. I assumed he was on white initiative because he's actually. I played him a few years ago in Paris, maybe 5-6 years ago at Eternal Weekend in Vintage, and he was playing white Eldrazi. He actually won the tournament there with white Eldrazi, and so I just said, well, it's probably more likely than not that he's playing a white Stompy deck in Legacy. So I kept the hand with 2 Snuff Outs, a Force of Will, and a Daze, and 3 lands, which isn't like exactly perfect against white initiative, but it's not bad enough where you would mulligan in that hand. So I just played a land and passed, and then he drew his card for a turn. He looked at me and said, "Go to discard." I was like, "Oh shit!" So then next turn he just unmasked my Force of Will and put a Grizzlebrand in play, and Snuff Out's a little underwhelming there. So, but then game 2 and 3 were pretty easy.
Yeah, I think it's a favorable matchup for Shadow. Every time your opponent wants to go in really fast and play a small amount of turns, every tempo deck it's favored in this kind of gameplay. So.
Especially Shadow, you have more interaction than even the typical like Delverish type of tempo decks. Like, you have the Dazes and the Forces that those decks have, but you also have an additional 8 pieces of discard, plus 4 reanimates.
You can discard these threats and reanimate.
Or he's just faithless looting it himself.
Yeah.
You know, it's sometimes you can't. Sometimes they can't really play a game where they just have an end step in tune. You know, they have to just faithless looting or unmask themselves or whatever. Or if they're short on mana, they might have to Thoughtseize themselves and then use the mana for the reanimation spell next turn.
Of course.
I was able to, in game 3, he just never drew a creature, and I kept Thoughtseizing and briefing him. So I just had force of will and days and stuff in my hand, and then I found a surgical. So eventually I just reanimated my Murktide that he thought seized to slow the clock on him. So I just reanimated my Murktide to make a huge Death Shadow.
Of course. It's really, really cool. Alright, lasciata qualche domanda? No? So we don't have any particular question from the chat. If you want to say something, you're free. Otherwise, I think we can take a break and we will be back really soon with the round number 3. Thank you so much, Joe, for everything, and good luck for the rest of the tournament. Hoping to see you in the top 8.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Take care.
Bye, guys.